Joining me on set is Nagihan Haliloglu, an assistant professor at Haldun University's Department of Sociology. Nagihan, thanks for being with us. What's your reaction to all? I mean, you've seen the pictures. Hundreds of thousands of people took to the street throughout the country on Saturday to mark this one-year university. Erdogan consistently said, we will not allow this to divide us. What do you make of the atmosphere and the mood around these events?
I mean, I find it quite incredible. I left home and then I got on the bus and I was going down Barbaros Boulevard, which is one of the main boulevards in Istanbul. And so many people on the streets with their flags, with their children, sort of going to wherever they can together. And there were sort of several spots in Istanbul where there were sort of different gathering points. And to see that, so many people felt part of something and they felt that they had something that belonged to them that they needed to protect. It was a very, very powerful feeling. And I mean, I wasn't here when the coup happened. Not in Istanbul. I was in Izmir, where you didn't get that sense of immediacy, let's say, as in Istanbul or in Ankara. And I was wondering whether there were also other people who weren't there, but, and who wanted to be kind of this part of this kind of national feeling. Yeah, and I wanted to be, as far as I could, I wanted to be with that crowd.
So you're talking a lot about unity.
Yeah.
And it's interesting because Turkey believes in many ways that the failed coup attempt has brought people together. But foreign media is saying that the country is more divided than ever. What's your assessment?
It's very interesting, yeah. I've been listening as well. Actually, we're living in a time where every country more or less feels divided. I mean, you look at the US and the UK, and sort of the fault lines seem to be sort of getting stronger and stronger. But as I said, I mean, and if you look at social media as well, particularly when it comes to who did the coup, I think there's complete unity in Turkey. I mean, when you ask anyone on the street, they know who did it. Whereas, as you say, international media kind of reflected as if, there's a difference of opinion, why it was done and who did it. But I think the Turkish people actually know who did it and why it was done. And that's why they take to the streets sort of so enthusiastically like they did last night. So I see a great unity, actually.
They've actually been, the crowds have been chanting for the death penalty, and Erdogan went so far as to say that if that proposal came across his desk, that he would approve it. Thousands of people right now have been arrested for being suspected of involved in the failed coup attempt. Can you really execute thousands of people? And what does this say about the direction that Turkish society is heading in the wake of this failed coup attempt?
I mean, in the march last night, I mean, there were people who lost relatives, who lost dear friends. And we were talking about how actually last night, I mean, it's such a sort of mixed feeling. People have this sense of triumph, but there's a great sense of loss. And everybody's thinking, that could have been me, or could it have been me? And I think there's this kind of feeling that we need to do something. If you didn't go out and die that night, there needs to be something that you can do. And I think there's sort of the emotions are running very high. And I mean, even if I think those death chants, I don't think they are for, all the people who were arrested, and, they need to go through sort of due trial processes and see whether those people who were arrested actually kind of committed those crimes. And, there needs to be sort of room for appeal and everything. And I think probably the person that people have in their mind when they chant the death penalty is Fethullah Gülen. I mean, they want him brought to justice. But whether, a death penalty will sort of serve that sense of justice, of course, is again a point of question. And I personally think, I don't know, I mean, to making him that kind of I don't know, like sorry figure might not actually serve a sense of justice that the people want. But I mean, yeah, it's still very, very fresh in people's memories. Yeah. So I think, I mean, that's where this kind of the raw emotions are coming from.
I mean, a year is a very short amount of time. Yeah. Emotions running high, certainly, and a lot of people, I mean, this is the first anniversary since it's happened.
Exactly.
So again, a lot of anger, a lot of emotion, a lot of pride in the country, and certainly what we saw in those pictures, a lot of people coming together. Nagihan Haliloğlu, thank you for being with us.
You're very welcome.